of Spanish football. You can see here 43 matches, but still, what a weird old way for it to finish, especially no Lionel Messi. Barca fans are up in arms over this. I was chatting to Sid Lowe earlier and I was saying, Sid, look what was going on, why didn't he play? And he said, well, they've got this friendly in South Africa midweek, plus one eye on the World Cup as well. This is it's beyond explanation.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in football for quite some time. Why you announce a friendly a week before the end of the season, to start with. Just you're playing a friendly mid-season, right before you're about to write records in La Liga. And then to double down on that, you leave Lionel Messi out. At times we've seen this season, Barcelona have struggled without Lionel Messi, but at least they've had him on the bench and you can call on him if need be. Going into this game, Levante started 16th in the table. You understand the changes. You think you've got this one. But surely you at least have Lionel Messi on the bench. Why he's not there is simply beyond me.
Valverde was asked after the game if he had any regrets. He said no, he had confidence with the team that he put out.
Yeah, I understand that Messi not playing is getting all the headlines. But let's be honest. If you score 4 goals away from home, you'd expect to win if you're Barcelona. For me, looking at the team he picked, you've got a change in the goalkeeper, you've got a change in the 2 centre-backs. So don't be surprised when you lose so many goals. So, yes, I understand the Messi one, but to score 4 away and lose again is just ridiculous. And Valverde, I have no idea when he says he trusts the players on the field, because clearly, well, he shouldn't.
Gab, what do you make of all this?
Pal Valverde out a little bit. He does have an out, and the out is, and we don't know this, we're purely speculating, we may never know this, but if Lionel Messi said, you know what, I kind of want, I'm a little bit tired, I'm thinking about this World Cup, I don't want to go to South Africa, or I skipped the Levante game. Your call, Ernesto, you figure it out, but this is silly, why are we going to South Africa for this? You know, I'll come along, but I won't play or whatever. And in the end, Valverde was put in a position where he had to make this decision, and he made the wrong call. To me, that is the only possible out you can give Valverde, but that kind of then dumps it all on Messi. Otherwise, you're right. I mean, because you can go and point out how bad they were defensively, and Yerry Mina or whatever, but this is really, really poor.
It, of course, is still a hugely successful season for Barcelona. They'll do the domestic double, but still a little more of a sour taste in the mouth after today's defeat. ESPN FC with you now 7 days a week. You can, of course, check us out here on ESPN+. Now, many of those days seem to be speaking about the future of Neymar, the PSG president, not happy. Who says he cannot stay here? Did anyone say that? No one. He has a contract with us, and he will stay 2,000%. Mathematically impossible, but there we go. Neymar, meanwhile, picking up Player of the Year in France, said each transfer window is the same things. Personally, it's not a moment for me to speak about anything. Everybody knows what I came here to do and my objectives. My goal now is to make the World Cup and not to speak about making or not making transfers. My whole life, each transfer window, it is talked about and it gets a bit annoying. Why not come out and say, I'm going to be at PSG next season, boom, done. No one will ask you about the transfer ever again.
Why are you asking me? I'm with you 100%. All you got to do is turn around and say, I am staying at PSG, I am going nowhere. Boom. End of story, boom. It's done. It shouldn't be that difficult. And the fact that he's not makes you wonder.
And he says each transfer window it's talked about. Last transfer window, you moved. That's what it's talked about.
I mean, yeah, it's talked about because of his own doing. You know, two transfer windows ago, it was PSG coming in, he turned them down, then 12 months later, we all know what happened. But that's par for the course.
It's pathetic, isn't it? The whole thing is pathetic and embarrassing.
It is.
Wow.
Why? What, Gab? Why?
Because there's 2 factors here, to be fair, about this. That one is that For whatever reason, the Spanish media keep banging on about the Neymar to Real Madrid story as some sort of possibility. But I think the other thing, very realistically, is that, and I'm sorry, I'm going to use Craig's favorite word here, we don't know yet if Paris Saint-Germain are going to be punished for breaching financial fair play. If that happens, then
this
they're
is
going
why
to need
he
to raise
can't.
money.
So they've said to him, when you're asked about it, Neymar, don't say anything, just in case we have to sell you because of this financial fair play thing. So just play down the question, pretend you're upset, and we'll cover you. You know that's not true, Gab. You know he's playing the game.
Or maybe he's just being honest. Maybe he's just being honest. Maybe he says he doesn't know. Because if next season there's no Champions League, because if they have to sell teams, he doesn't know what's going to happen.
Isn't it down to him, though?
He doesn't know if Chefrin's going to punish them. What?
Isn't it down to him? It's his decision if he stays or not.
It's not down to him, because if the circumstances change, he might not want to stay.
Do you really think
he was sold on the idea that this is a super club and we're going to grow together and whatever else? If he finds out that, oh, guys, I'm here because you breached these rules you weren't supposed to breach, then that changes everything. I think it's as simple as that. I mean, I don't see why we need to go and crucify Neymar here for being honest.
In my opinion, the sensible thing, as much as to Gab's point, for Neymar to make is you just come out and say, listen, I'm staying. I have no intention of leaving. If Al Khalifi comes and in 4 months' time says, listen, sorry, I have to sell you to abide by financial fair play, then so be it. But as far as Neymar is concerned, right now, I'm not going anywhere.
32 wins, 106 goals, plus 79 goal difference, a winning margin of 19 points. These are all records. Now, it's interesting because comparisons are now being made to the Invincible season. You can see in those stats that obviously when it comes to wins and goals and goal difference and points, that Manchester City occurred more than that Invincible campaign. So I suppose the question is, which is more impressive?
I think you still have to go with the Invincibles. To go through a season in 2003, 2004, I would suggest was harder than it is today. You know, because of the rules. You know, the rules of the games, the way that you can challenge then, as opposed to what happens now. I mean, you can't go near anybody and the referee's blowing his whistle for a free kick. So you can stick your team or load your team with 7 or 8 stars who are just going to go forward. You couldn't do that in 2003, 2004. So for me, I'd have to say the Invincibles still.
Gab, what do you think?
Well, I just had to chuckle there when I heard that, because I wonder if this is sort of an ongoing trend, because I know that back then, during the Invincible season, there were people who were complaining and comparing the Invincibles with some of the great Liverpool sides that Stevie played on, and they said, oh yeah, but it's a lot easier for this Arsenal team because, you know, back in the 1980s, you could challenge and it was a game for men and tough guys, and, you know, whereas now, you can't go near anybody. Basically making the same argument now. But no, for me, it has to be the points total. That Invincibles team was fantastic. I think there's a lot of games that, you know, late in the second half, things weren't going for them. They just spread the pitch. They kind of settled for a draw, perhaps. This City team didn't do that.
Tiebreaker, then Shank?
I'm going to go with Stevie here. And as hard as it is to argue with Manchester City's season and the records that they've broken, I think one of the big things that maybe you don't appreciate now is the difference between the haves and the have-nots, which I think is a whole lot greater now than it was certainly back in 2003, 2004. The gap between top of the table and bottom, both in terms of quality and pay structure, I don't think compares to what it is now.
Who wins?
Who wins what?
They face off.
They face off. I think City right now wins.
With these laws, City win.
These laws.
Hey, you go back to 2003, Arsenal wins. And by the way, Gab, that argument that was given in 2003 was actually correct then as well, because the difference in the way the game was refereed from 80 to 90 to 2000, was a big difference. And there's a big difference between 2003 to now as well. So the argument actually is correct.
Who wins the match, Gab?
I think City win it. I'll tell you what, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Petit and Vieira in their absolute pomp trying to go and disrupt City. But I would probably lean City.
Welcome to Extra Time. Let's get on with this, shall we? Would you like to see playoffs in the European domestic leagues given the top-heavy dominance by Juventus, Barca, Real Madrid? We'll see it.
No.
Why?
Well, because the league is set up over a 38-game period for most leagues to show who the best team is over the course of the season. Not who's the best in the last 4 weeks. And that's why I would not like to see a playoff-style thing in European domestic leagues.
What he said.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Did you make it to the playoffs when you played for FC Dallas?
No. I can't remember now. I can't remember. You know what was weird? That we had to train all the way till the end of the playoffs. Whether you were in, out, got knocked out early, you had to keep coming in to practice.
Did you do that as well when you were at the Revs?
No, because we were always the playoffs.
And then what happened in the finals?
Well, we won a couple of finals.
Which ones?
We won the Open Cup final. We won the Super Cup against the Mexican team. So we won finals.
He's all sensitive now, Stevie.
Well, he's trying to be clever, isn't he?
Oh, you touched a nerve, Daniel.
Oh, he knows. He's all right. I think he'll survive.
Oh, he's going to fight you after this show.
I don't think it'll be much of a fight, will it?
I'm not helping him. I'm not helping Dan.
Gab,
Beat him by
playoffs,
yourself.
your thoughts?
I like the league format, but I would have playoffs only when teams finish level on points. I don't like goal difference. I don't like head-to-head. I think a one-game playoffs, when it matters, whether it's relegation or titles or Champions League qualification, I think would be far more exciting and probably more fair as well.
Ooh, where do you stand on that?
I absolutely 100% agree with Mr. Marcotti.
Shaka.
No, I like it how it is.
What? Goal difference?
Or-
Because you scored 10 against Wigan.
Or
You're in the
head-to-head. Or
Premier League.
head-to-head. I like head-to-head. I like to see the point of a playoff at the end, a one-game playoff. Suppose one of your players is injured or suspended.
Well, what if they were injured in the head-to-head game?
That's what I'm talking about. They're injured in the head-to-head game. That's what I'm saying. Oh, you mean the head-to-head during the season? Well, that's part of the season, and you accept that. But to have a 39th game, as it were, or whatever it was, no, I don't think. I like that idea.
Obviously didn't like it, the big one, huh?
I'm just saying.
No, wait,
I'm a
seconds.
traditionalist.
So would you prefer goal difference over that?
Over
One game?
Nah, yeah. I prefer goal difference.
You prefer
over
goal
one.
difference?
Yeah. I don't like the idea of a one-off game. I don't.
Oh. Would you rather play under Jose Mourinho or Antonio Conte?
Oh.
Which Antonio Conte?
On the
Antonio Conte,
miserable
we've seen. Antonio Conte, we've seen in the last 6 months. Man, that was hard work playing under him.
You go Mourinho?
I asked you a question. Which Conte?
You could say the same thing about both of them. Because pre-Real Madrid, everybody said how this guy's, all the players love him, love playing for him, and now it's like, what's happened? Complete opposite.
So the answer is none.
And then Gab will probably tell you about
Oh, here he comes.
Conte, supposedly last year, was everybody's busy mate in the club, not just the players, but every person around it. Now, this year, he's become a right grump.
Instead of Griezmann, shouldn't Barca spend money on a centre-back and a centre midfielder? he's got a point, Andy Gab.
Yeah, I would say they signed Yerry Mina, didn't they? So there's your center back right there.
Yeah, he did well today.
Yeah.
That one, look.
That's what he's
You know,
saying.
I think the difficulty, though, is that They like buying attacking players. And if Valverde goes and says, "Excuse me, Mr. Bartomeu, can we discuss center backs?" He'll say, "Why? You conceded so few goals this season until that last game, and surely our problem is further up." I think I'm Italian. You can never have enough defenders, good ones. I think they're okay. I think they need to extend Umtiti. If Umtiti and Piqué play, that's a very good center back partnership. Jordi Alba's back where he was. So no, you don't need another center back other than maybe somebody for depth. But that's not going to move the needle in the big game.
Final question to Steve Nicol.
Uh-oh.
How jacked up are you for the final?
Right now, I'm okay. On the day, I'll be getting there. Well, Dan, you forget, I spent 20
You'll
years.
be getting there.
I spent 20 years
That's the understatement of the year.
preparing to be jacked up. The day of,
Right.
just on the kick-off.
Yeah. Like just before the start of the show.
That's it. I hope the Liverpool players are thinking that way, because if you start thinking about the final 5-6 days before it, it's called nervous energy.
Right, what happens?
You lose energy because of the nerves. That's why they call it nervous energy. And that will affect you in the final as far as your physical condition's concerned. So I hope the Liverpool players are feeling like myself, chilling out, they know it's
You went to
coming.
Israel and got drunk, yeah?
Pardon?
You went to Israel and got drunk
Correct.
for the European Cup.
Chilled out.
Chillaxed.
No, chilled out. Didn't use those words then.
No? You use them now?
Although you seem to be with it. Chillaxed and all that.
Yes, very much with it.
Yeah.
That's it, we are done. ESPN FC is back tomorrow.
A round of applause.
We are
everybody.
Like that.
7. Are you clapping yourself, Shaq, or clapping the
Everybody.
end?
Everybody have a clap.
Right, shut it down. Come on.
Who?
I will shut it down.
Come on, Dad. Otherwise I'm going to start a clap again.
7 days a week, ESPN Plus.